Okay, so today we will do the graphical method of stability condition. Okay, so whatever yesterday S parameters we have taken, so we will do that the stability condition so graphically, so whether the given FET is stable or not. Okay, so we need to find out stability of gallium arsenide FET which has following S parameters. Following S parameters. So we have to find the stability of this gallium arsenide FET. So at 2 gigahertz with 50 ohm system graphically. So this we have seen yesterday, so the mathematical part. So now today we have to do for the graphical part. Okay, so S11 it is minus 60 and S21 it is 3.1 at an angle 123 degree, and S12 which is equal to 0.02 at an angle 62 degree, and S22 which is equal to 0.78 at an angle minus 27 degree. So now first find out, so for the graphical method, so now we need to find out first CL, RL, so that where the input stability circle and output stability circle so lies. So for first we will do the output stability circle, so we need to draw the output stability circle. Okay, so for output stability circle, so we have the equation CL. Okay, so that is S22 minus S11 star delta, that is complex conjugate so of this divided by DL. Okay, so DL which is equal to S22 square minus delta square, and your RL which is equal to S12 S21 so magnitude divided by DL magnitude, and delta, so it is S11 S22 minus S21 S12. So now find out the value of delta. So S11 is 0.89 at an angle minus 60 degree, so this into so S22 0.78 at an angle minus 27 degree minus, so S21 it is 3.1 at an angle 123 degree into 0.02 at an angle 62 degree. So find out the value of delta, what we got yesterday. So anyhow yesterday we have calculated. What is the value of delta? Hello?
0.694 at an angle minus 87 degree.
0.69 at an angle
Minus 87 degree.
87.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now by using this delta, now find out first the DL, because RL, CL both needs DL. So find out DL which is equal to S22 square, that is 0.78 at an angle minus 27. So since we have taken only magnitude, so we can take only 0.78 square. Okay, minus delta square, so that is 0.69 square. Find out the value of DL, magnitude of DL. So since this is only magnitude we are considering, we can take magnitude. So find out the value of DL. What is the value? So
Point
yeah,
0.13.
0.13. Okay.
23.
13. Is it
23.
13 na?
0.1323.
Okay. So now next find out the CL. What is CL? S22, that is 0.78 at an angle minus 27 degree, minus, so we need to take complex conjugate of S11, sorry, this is S22, no, 0.78, okay, so this is S22 and you have to take S11 complex conjugate. So if you take complex conjugate, the angle become positive, that is 0.89 at an angle plus 60 degree into delta. So what is the value of delta? So here 0.69 at an angle minus 87 degree. So this is the CL. So this divided by DL value, that is 0.1323. Now find out the value of CL. First multiply this and then so add these two. So you're going to get minus 27 degree and magnitude you put 0.78 at an angle minus 27 degree minus. So find the value of the magnitude and you can put the angle. So this divided by 0.1323. So in order to subtract, first you do in the rectangular form, that is convert this rectangular and this one, then you will going to get the value and then you can add. Finally you can again finally convert it to polar and divide it by the magnitude value. So what is the value of this? 0.89 into 0.69. What is the value?
0.6141.
Okay, so now convert this one to this one and this one in the rectangular form. What is this value? Rectangular form. What is the value? Our overall
So 1.25
1.25
at an angle minus 27.
at an angle
Minus 27.
minus 27. Is this total CL?
Yes, a total here.
Okay. So now find out the value of the CS for the input stability circle. So now for the input stability circle, again find out CS, RS, DS. So anyhow delta is already find out. So the same delta can be used because the delta expression is same. Okay. So now we have to find out CS, RS and DS. Now first find out DS, the magnitude of DS, that is S11 square minus delta square. So what is S11? It is magnitude, it is 0.89 square minus delta is 0.69 square. So what is the value of DS?
Point 316.
Okay, 0.316. Okay. Similarly, you can find out what is CS and RS. Okay, so here we have, so similar like RL, so we have RS, which is equal to S12 S21 magnitude divided by the magnitude of DS. So S12 is 0.02 into 3.1. So this divided by, so whatever the RS we got, which is DS we got 0.316. So what is the value of RS? What is the value of RS?
0.196.
0.196. So now find out CS, which is equal to S11 minus S22 complex conjugate into delta whole complex conjugate. So this divided by the ds. So here we need to take the whole complex conjugate after this. Okay, so after this we have to take whole complex conjugate, then you have to find out the value. So have you taken complex conjugate or not in this? Because whole thing complex conjugate is there. Is it taken while calculating CL?
No, sir.
No. So then you have to take the whole complex conjugate and then divide it by magnitude. So if you take the whole complex conjugate, so you might get the angle reversed. Okay. Okay, so the magnitudes are same maybe, so you have to see the angle whether it is positive or negative. After complex conjugate, is it positive? Yeah, maybe the magnitude will be same, so it may become plus if you take whole thing complex conjugate. Is it fine? Is it same thing? Hello? Are you getting the same thing? That is plus 27.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, 27.
So now we can calculate what is the CS. So which is S11 is 0.89 at an angle minus 60 degree minus S22 is 0.78. So now we need to take the complex conjugate. S22 is at an angle minus 27. If I take the complex conjugate, it will become plus 27. So this into delta, so which is 0.69. So what is the value of delta? 0.69 at an angle 87 minus 87 degree. So now this thing whole complex conjugate, this divided by ds value. So the ds is 0.316. Yeah, find out the value of CS. What is the value of CS? Have you got it? What is the value of CS? So put it in complex mode and you can directly do this. You will going to get the value of CS. Have you done? What is the value of CS? What is the value? Anybody got or not?
1.1,
Yeah.
1.13
Okay.
at an angle 60.
At an angle
60.
16 or 60? 60.
60, 60, sir.
Okay. So now once we obtain the CSRS and CLRL, now we need to plot those input and output stability circles. Okay. So now first I'll write what are all the CS value and CL value which we have obtained. So CS value which is obtained is 1.13 at an angle 60, and the CL value so which is 1.25 at an angle 27 degree. Okay, and also we need RS value and CL value. RS value which we got it as, and RL value. Okay, so RL value, what is the RL value we got? Okay, so RS value 0.196 and RL value we didn't get it. So RL value we need to get the value of RL also. So here RL it is there, S12 S21 divided by DL. So RL you can calculate what is the value of RL. S12 S21 the magnitude of DL. So this is S12 is 3.1 into S21 is, so S12 is 0.02 and S21 is 3.1 divided by DL. So DL value is 0.1323. So 0.02 into 3.1 divided by 0.1323. So tell me the value of RL. 0.02 into 3.1 divided by 0.1323. What is the value?
0.4686.
468. Okay, so that is what we needed here. So 0.468. So now we'll do the or plot the stability circle. Okay, so now how to plot the stability circle? So since this CL, RS, RL are all the reflection coefficient values itself, so that is in the scale of reflection coefficient scale only we need to take, because that CS and RL, so CSRS or CLRL plane which is the similar like reflection coefficient circle. Okay, so that's why we need to take the magnitude and corresponding angle so in the reflection coefficient scale, and we have to plot the input and output stability circle. So now we have CL. So first we will find out the point CL where it is there. So it is 1.25 at an angle 27 degree. So now we can see here, this is a reflection coefficient scale. So where we have only from 0 to 1 it is there, but we need 1.25. So that extra 0.25, so you need to take the arc here, okay, in this scale, and that 0.25 you need to mark extra 0.25 whatever I am taking this 0.25 extra scale. So that from 1 to 0.25 you need to add. Okay, so this scale I am extending and I am adding. So finally I will take from this point to that point. So then I will get the value of 1.25. So this is total 1.25. So the radius I am getting. Okay, sorry, the CS whatever CL whatever I am taking. So this
Sir,
is
again,
CL.
can you show?
Yeah. Hello. Is it understood or not?
Sir, again, can you show that one?
Yeah, so here it is only from 0 to 1 the scale, is it not? Reflection coefficient ERI. Okay, but I need extra 0.25. So in order to locate that CL, center of the output stability circle. CL means center of the output stability circle. So that 0.25 what I needed from 1 to 1.25, that extra 0.25 I am taking here from this scale and I am adding from 1 to that point. That is, this is extra 0.25 value. Okay, so if I just add this scale or extend this scale, so whatever this reflection coefficient scale, if I extend here, and this is the value from here to here, it is point, that is 1.25. So that is what the distance I need to take in order to locate the center of the output stability circle. So now take the center of this one, okay, and look at the angle. So angle, it is 27 degree. Now we can see here, so on the reflection, so we can see angle of reflection coefficient in degrees, it is there. So that scale you need to take 27 degree, okay, the second circle, from the inner word second circle, angle of reflection coefficient in degrees. So that you need to take 27 degrees. So you can see here 20, 22, 24, 26 and 27 in between. So this is what the angle I am locating. So I will draw the line here from that point to that point. From the center to that angle I am drawing one line, okay. So after drawing that, I need to take this radius, because the center location is at 1.25, the magnitude of CL. So whatever it is magnitude of CL, it is 1.25. Now I need to take this radius and I need to cut that from the center point, okay. So if I cut that, so this is your location of CL, the center point of the output stability circle. So where here, so this is the CL, and we have located the 1.25 at an angle 27 degree, okay. So this is what the center point. Now from the center point I am locating the center of the output stability circle CL, okay. So now what is the RL? It is the radius of that output stability circle, which is 0.468. So again take 0.468 from that reflection coefficient scale. So this is 0.4, so around it is 0.4 here, and 0.46, so 8, so approximately I am taking this radius. So now by taking this point, so you need to draw that much radius, that is the circle of radius 0.468, okay. Even it is going out of the, so the plane, so don't this one don't take it, that is not a problem, because this circle it will go somewhat out of the Smith chart, that is completely the page, that doesn't matter, because so we need to only locate inside the Smith chart where is the stability and where is the instability is there, okay. So now this is the output stability circle. So taking this radius, okay, so this is the output stability circle. So this is the radius RL, which is equal to 0.468, and CL 1.25 at an angle 27 degree, okay. So now is it clear how to draw the output stability circle? Any doubt? Hello? Anybody any doubt how to draw the output stability circle? So this is your output stability circle. Now similarly draw the input stability circle, that is CS and RS, by taking that. CS is 1.13, so 0.13 extra I am taking. So this is 0.13 extra. So this point is 0.13 extra, and I am taking from again 0 to that point. That is the center of the input stability circle. So 1.13. Now see where is the angle 60. So now here it is a 60, okay. So that 60 I need to take, and I need to draw one line exactly at an angle 60. So this is a 60, okay. Now I have drawn the line, so at an angle 60. Now I need to take this and I need to cut the, so that line. So now this is the center of the input stability circle CS. So now what is the radius RS? It is 0.196. So take 0.196 approximately from this reflection coefficient scale, we can see. So around 0.196 I am taking, and taking that radius and draw the input stability circle. I am drawing approximately, you can draw later properly. And now this is your input stability circle. So now we need to locate the stable region and unstable region. Okay. So now as we have discussed, so where is the stability circle with, so the intersection area of the Smith chart, that is actually the stable region. So now in the input stability circle, so only this much is the stable region, and here it is, this is the stable region. But since the center of the Smith chart is not covered, so the given device is potentially unstable, or so it is conditionally stable, or we can say it is unstable, the potentially unstable. Okay, so that is how we need to define the stable region and unstable region, and the given device whether it is potentially stable or unstable. Okay, so potentially unstable case, or you can say conditional, that is unconditionally stable case. So if the stability circle includes this, so the region of the Smith chart, so then we can decide, so in that case, so the stable and unstable region, but that case is whenever the input and output it is so matched case, where the gamma L equal to 0 and gamma S equal to 0. So yesterday which we have discussed. Okay, so is it understood? Hello, any doubt? Anybody, any doubt? Hello? Tushali, understood? Tanmay? Hello? Sri Gauri? Hello? Sirish? Amita? Is it understood or any doubt?
Understood, sir.
Okay, so now we'll see if the potentially,
Sir.
yeah,
Sir, can you repeat the conclusion, sir? 1 second.
yeah. So you can see here, so this is the output stability circle and this is the input stability circle. So now we have seen, so wherever the interaction, that is the region where the stability circle so intersects the Smith chart. So this is the standard Smith chart where it is a, so the standard Smith chart which includes the matching point, that is 0. Okay, so now wherever this input stability circle or output stability circle so interacts the region, okay, so you can see here it is marked, only those are the stable regions. Okay, so since it is not included the center of the Smith chart any stability circle, so the given device is unstable, that is potentially unstable. Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
So that is what the conclusion. So even we have done mathematically, the k is less than 1 and delta is less than 1, so that will give the device is unstable. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, so if we take now the device whatever it is given, it is unstable, right? Potentially unstable. Now how to bring that one to stability? So that we'll discuss. So if the any device is unstable, that is potentially unstable. Now how to become or how to do that device to be stable? So now we have seen, so where gamma in should be less than 1 and gamma out should be less than 1. So for all values of gamma s and gamma l, right? So that we have seen unconditionally stable case. Okay, so now for conditionally stable or potentially unstable, so this will be same only for limited range. Okay, limited range of gamma s and gamma l. So now if you take the potentially unstable case, so where we have this gamma n equal to 1 and gamma out equal to less than 1 only for the limited range of gamma s and gamma l. So that means, so if say for example if some design, so where we have gamma s and gamma l we have chosen. Okay, so for some circuit reason I am choosing initially the gamma s and gamma l. So we know that in the potentially unstable case only for particular values of gamma s and gamma l this condition will be satisfied, but not for all the values. Now if I take this some values of gamma s and gamma l, and that for those gamma s and gamma l, if these are greater than 1, okay, so that is gamma in and gamma out, if it is greater than 1, now how to bring this one to less than 1 to get the unconditionally stable case. Okay, so only thing is, so the input reflection coefficient and output reflection coefficient, to bring it is to less than 1, so we need the input impedance, okay, so R in, so along with whatever ZS, so that should be greater than 1. So this is a condition where we need to satisfy in order to get the unconditional stability for the potentially unstable cases. Okay, and also in the output thing, so we have to take Z out plus ZL, that should be greater than 1. So if I bring these resistor values greater than 1, so then our gamma out, which earlier it is greater than 1, it will become less than 1, so that we can get the condition for this whatever chosen gamma s and gamma l. So we will going to get the unconditionally stable case. So now how to do this one? How to bring this one Z out and ZL? Okay, so now if I have the transistor, so that is potentially unstable case. Now we can have, so we'll add the resistor. Okay, so the resistor at the input side. Okay, so in order to bring that gamma s or the input reflection coefficient less than 1, we'll add either the series resistance, okay, or we can also add as the parallel resistance. At the input side, in order to bring this gamma in less than 1, we'll add the shunt resistor or series resistor. Similarly, to bring gamma out less than 1, so we'll add for this transistor, okay, so either at the output side, either we can add series or we can add the shunt resistor. Okay, so this is what, so we can add these resistors to bring out our input reflection coefficient and output reflection coefficient, which is less than 1 for the potentially unstable case, to make it the unconditionally stable. Okay, so now, so this is the technique where we can use the, so let us take in the Smith chart. Okay, so now this is a Smith chart. So we have the, so output stability circle and input stability circle. Okay, so now, so let us say, so for this we need to add some resistor, that this is the input stability circle. Let us take an example, and this is the output stability circle. Okay, so now where we need to, even if we touch this boundary, so that device will become stable. So that's why, so what are all the resistance circle, so which are actually touching this boundary, so we have to look into that, or we can have the conductance circle where it is touching these boundaries. So if I take the output stability circle, so now you can see this conductance circle which is so touching this boundary. So this is a conductance circle, and even this is the resistance circle where we can have the boundary which is touching the output stability circle. So now we can have this. So since it is in the resistance circle, we can add what is the value of this, the value of the resistance, so that we can add it as a series. Okay, so that is, so since we are taking output, so we can add this whatever the value of R3. If I add the at the output of the transistor, then the transistor will become stable. Similarly, this conductance circle, so we need to obtain what is the conductance value and take it. So the reverse of this 1 by G3 will give you the, so the value of R4, that is the shunt resistance we have to put. Okay, so like that, even for input stability circle also we have to see which resistance circle or which conductance circle touches this boundary and make it stable. Okay, so this is how we can bring the potentially unstable device to a unconditionally stable device. So while doing that one, so we can achieve the stability. Okay, stability can be achieved, but at the cost of, okay, at the cost of gain. Okay, so output power. So this, so we need to, so this will going to reduce if we get the stability for this. So by adding this resistance, because of the adding of the resistance, the gain will be reduced, output power will be reduced, so the loss will increase. Okay, the loss will going to increase. So that is what the, so whenever we take the potentially unstable case, so if I add this technique to bring out that unstable device to stability, so this is the cost we need to so bear, that is the gain, output power and loss also it will going to increase. So now we can see, we can take any problem and we can see how the design can be happened. Okay, so now take this one problem. So this problem you can take a BJT has the following S parameters. Okay, so take this S parameter, S11 equal to 0.65 at an angle minus 95 degree, and S21 which is equal to 5 at an angle 115 degree, and S12 which is equal to 0.035 at an angle 40 degree, and S22 0.8 at an angle minus 35 degree. Now we have to find out, is transistor unconditionally stable? Okay, so if it is not, if not, use resistive loading to make transistor stable. Okay, so now even, so we can add the, in order to improve the gain, so we can add the negative feedback also. So relatively it will reduce the input output VSWR and also it will improve the gain. Okay, so that is along with that resistive feedback, so that resistive loading we have to use the negative feedback. Okay, so now for this problem we can find out what is the K delta or whatever it is, so we can find out whether it is stable or not. So find out the value of K, which is equal to 1 minus S11 square minus S22 square plus delta square. Okay, so this divided by 2 times S12 S21. So find out the value of K, whether it is stable or not. So we can find out by putting the values of S11 and S. So 0.65 square minus 0.8 square plus, so now we need to find out what is the delta. S11 S21 S22 minus S12 S21. So find out the value of delta. What is the value of delta? Anybody got it? What is the value of delta? So we need to take the S11 0.65 at an angle minus 95 degree into S22 0.8 at an angle minus 35 degree minus 5 at an angle 115 degree into 0.035 at an angle 40 degree. So what is
Sir,
yeah,
and 0.5 at an angle minus 110.
110 degree. So now we can put this 0.5 square here. So this divided by 2 times S12, which is 0.035 into that is 5. S21 is 5, S12 is 0.035. So what is the value of K?
Point 0.535.
Point
0.535.
okay.
By
So
3.
since it is less than 1, the given device is potentially unstable. So now we have to make it to stable. So for that we need to draw the input and output stability circles. Again we need to find out for this what is CS, what is CL, and what is RS and what is RL. Okay. So try to find out this one, that is CL, which is equal to S22 minus S11 complex conjugate into delta whole time complex conjugate RL. So now we have to find out a DL, which is equal to S12, so this is DL, no, so S22 square minus delta square. Okay, so what is S22, which is 0.8 square minus delta is 0.5 square. So what is the value of DL?
Point 39.
0.39. Okay, so now put the value of here DL here and find out the value of CL. So S22, which is 0.8 at an angle minus 35 minus complex conjugate of S11, which is 0.65 at an angle plus 95 degree into, so the delta 0.5 at an angle minus 110 degree. So this divided by, so the magnitude of DL, so even we can put at 0.39. Okay, you can calculate what is the CL value and then so RL value. So we'll do this, try to calculate all the CL and RL values. So we'll do that in the next class. Sir is waiting. So be there here only. So sir will take the class.